Hey guys, the Premier League is back this weekend after the week of Champions League. We are returning to the Premier League with Manchester United are set to be playing on Saturday at Selhurst Park. They are playing Crystal Palace away at the Selhurst Park where they lost 4-0 last season. A game where I think many were speculating that maybe that could be the end of Erik ten Hag, but somehow he's still the manager of Manchester United. And they've started the season on I can say a mixture of emotions, because some games they have won, but some they have not played well. As they lost against Brighton, they lost against Liverpool. I think those two games they were supposed to win, because in a position they are at the moment after spending that kind of money in the new players like Matthijs de Ligt, Mazraoui, Joshua Zirkzee and Leny Yoro. I think many fans were, most of their fans were expecting, a different season to what they saw last season. But at the moment, I don't think they are convinced that they are heading in the right direction. With some of them are calling for manager Erik ten Hag to be sacked, because after their 3-0 loss to Liverpool, I think many fans were done by ten Hag, and that they criticized his approach to games, also his tactics. They said ten Hag tactics are not working, and it's time the board decided to part ways with the Dutch manager. So after their loss to Liverpool, a 3-0 loss at Old Trafford to Liverpool, they played at St Mary's Stadium where they won 3-0 against Southampton, where I don't think they played quite well, but somehow they managed to win it, because Southampton started on a high note. In the first 20 minutes, I think Southampton were supposed to be ahead. Somehow they did not manage to do that. Onana saved a penalty, and that is where the game changed in favor of Manchester United, because after Onana saved the penalty, 10 minutes later, United were leading 2-0. Goals from Matthijs de Ligt, his first goal for United, and also Marcus Rashford, who scored his first goal of the season. And since then, he's been on a scoring spree, as he scored against Barnsley on Tuesday. He scored a brace, a game where United won 7-0. The first time under Erik ten Hag, United have managed to score more than 5 goals in a single match, and United have scored 7 or plus goals in a single match since 2021 against Southampton, where they won 9-0. Up next, as I said earlier, is against Crystal Palace on Saturday. That is, they are going to play away at the Selhurst Park Stadium. United were a bit unlucky in terms of injuries last season, as they faced quite a number of injuries, most to their defense. We saw the likes of Harry Maguire, Lisandro Martinez. They were being injured last season, and this I think it impacted their season negatively. So far this season has been not it's not that good enough, but somehow they have their squad back at the moment. And this week we saw Mason Mount and Rasmus Hojlund are back in full training ahead of their game against Crystal Palace. Remember, Hojlund was injured against Arsenal in the preseason friendly where Arsenal won 2-1, and since then he has been sidelined by an injury, but he is back now, and I think he will be in the squad to face Crystal Palace. A major boost for United, because Joshua Zirkzee has not adapted yet to the Premier League, and the return of Rasmus Hojlund will be greatly welcomed by Manchester United. Also, Mason Mount, who has been unlucky since his move from Chelsea to United last season, has been facing injuries, this or that, and is also back from an injury. Is also fit enough to face Crystal Palace on Saturday, and I think this is what Ten Hag needs at the moment. He needs these players back, and at the moment, I think the only players who are not present, will not be present for United at this weekend, are Luke Shaw, Thierry Malacia, and a new signing, Leny Yoro. But I think Luke Shaw and Leny Yoro, they are closer to returning than Malacia. I think in the next 3 to 4 weeks, we could see a full United squad in action, being that they have not lost any player until then through an injury. So I think this is a very good news for Ten Hag and for United fans to welcome back Rasmus Hojlund and Mason Mount we saw that at the first two games where Mount played, I think he was good at pressing, and this is what United have been missing, that midfield so far. But with the return of Mason Mount, I think it should be a big boost in that midfield. Also, arrival of Rasmus Hojlund will now let Rashford play as a wide winger rather than being played as a striker in case as Zirkzee is not fit enough to play. So I think now United will be having two strikers in the name of Rasmus Hojlund and Joshua Zirkzee against Crystal Palace. And I know Zirkzee might start with Rasmus Hojlund will come on the second half if needs to be. But at the moment, two strikers, the young strikers are fit enough. And as I said, good news for Manchester United. Last season, it was not good outing for the Red Devils when they were facing the Eagles, Crystal Palace, because they lost both home and away. They lost at Old Trafford 1-0, goal by Joachim Andersen, and that was enough to beat the Red Devils at home. And they lost again the second leg at Selhurst Park. They lost 4-0. So last season, it was a good outing for the Eagles against the Red Devils, as they collected maximum points, the 6 points and 5 goals, conceding 0 goals. For United, it was a bad season for them because they lost both ties with that aggregate of 5 goals to 0, and that needs to change. And there's no time because it is this Saturday where United needs to build on the momentum after winning 7-0 against Barnsley on Tuesday. We want to know if it's not a fluke. Are they really back on track, or the 7-0 win was just a fluke? So this is what now we expect to see on Saturday as far as Manchester United are concerned. They have accumulated 6 points so far, having played 4 games. They're sitting 10th in the Premier League with the 6 points. They have lost 2 games against Brighton. They lost 1. Against Liverpool, they lost 3-0. So goal difference, they have 0 as they have conceded and scored the same number of goals. For Crystal Palace, they are on a -3, -3 goal difference. They're sitting 16th with only 2 points. So if they need a redemption, they need it against Manchester United, because they will be facing them with a lot of confidence, because we did it last season twice. We can also do it again this season, but it can be a different game because United they have new players in defense. They have their Delict, they have Mazraoui, Rashford is on form. He scored against 3 goals in 2 games for Marcus Rashford again, and also some assists there. He scored against Southampton. He scored a brace against Barnsley, and also had 2 assists against Barnsley as well. So he's a man on form at the moment, and Rashford being on form, it is what that can worry opponents. So and a good sign and omen for Manchester United. So if Rashford will continue this form, I think Crystal Palace will have a long day to say. But anything can happen. But we expect United to continue their momentum. After winning 7-0 against Barnsley. On the other hand, Crystal Palace won 2-1 against QPR, having drawing 2-2 draw, a 2-2 draw with Leicester on Saturday in the Premier League. They won 2-1 against QPR in the Carabao Cup, where United won 7-0 as well. So they're also building on a 2-1 win against QPR. With the maximum of 3 points up for grabs at Selhurst Park against between Manchester United and Crystal Palace. Back in the days, a fixture like this was not a problem for Manchester United fans. They were not even they were not having any pressure. But at the moment, when they're facing any team, they have that pressure because things have not been the same since the retirement of Sir Alex Ferguson, as they've not won the Premier League since 2012, and they are really starving to win the Premier League. But they need to do a lot because Arsenal are there, Liverpool are there, also the Citizens, who have won it 4 in a row and aiming to win it 5 in a row this season, are also there in contention. So it's a long way to go for Ten Hag and his team, but it's brick by brick, as their owners, Sir Jerm Ratcliffe, said they're aiming to return back to the old days, and it won't happen on a single day. it needs like 3 to 4 summer windows, that is 3 to 4 seasons for them to be back on track. A lot needs to happen, and we've seen this season they tried to clear the deadwoods as some of the players were sold, the legs of Tony Martial, Rafael Varane, Wan-Bissaka. These are the kind of players that were sold in the summer, and the arrival of Joshua Zirkzee, Leny Yoro, Matthijs de Ligt, and Nacer Mazraoui, marked the first season of Sir Jim Ratcliffe as the partial owner of Manchester United. So they are expecting things to go in a positive way, and if Ten Hag will not get it done right, I think they will need to part ways with him. But they trust him, they believe in him. They gave him a second chance, because after the end of last season, there were speculations that United was set to part ways with the Dutch manager, but somehow he remained as their manager. And 4 games played so far, 6 points, 2 losses against Brighton and Liverpool. Up next is Crystal Palace, a game where they didn't win a single point last season. Will it be a good outing for Manchester United? Do you think Crystal Palace will continue their fine form and do it 3 out of 3 against the Red Devils? Let me know your comments, your views in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.